For those railroad buffs out there that knows what a spring frog is, but they really don't know how it operates, let me explain it to you. I'm gonna first show you a piece of, look down that track right there, that straight track goes, that straight rail goes all the way to the other end. That is the side of the frog that whenever an engine and cars go into a siding, the inside flange runs down this rail here and hits that spring rail right down there. Let me go down here and show you the spring rail. Right here, wheel comes off this side, flange comes off, kicks this spring open in this huge set of springs here and kicks that rail wide open. And this horn right here that was made by the blacksmiths at the Roadway Shop, this horn here slams over inside of this thing, and that's what stops the spring rail. Now let me back up here. We'll show you the other side of the operation. The other side of the operation is right here. This is the mainline track right here. This is going to be the left side rail, wheel flange right in here. It's going to go straight through, and it's going to be reasonably silent going through the frog, plus it'll give the train a smoother ride. Let's go right down here. Flange comes down this side, goes right here. Look at this wear right here. That's where the flange has been hitting that point, and then the flange goes this way and then continues right on down the main line. Now let's back up here. This huge block right here called a heel block, excuse me, this is toe block. Actually, in the real early 70s, I was working as a blacksmith at the Roadway Shop. I actually helped design this block. It used to be only this long. It took and used 4 bolts on each side, and those blocks were breaking, so we took a piece of angle bar and made a jig. These are actually 2 angle bars here. We welded a plate down the bottom, welded these plates on the end, and fabricated that toe block. The blacksmiths in the shop used a huge oxygraph and cut out that piece of that ear right there that holds the bed plate to the wing rail. That's not the spring rail, that's the wing rail. Oxygraph guy cut these out, and we forged this plate here. You can see these bends in here. That was actually forged in a huge machine, what we called a bulldozer. You can see where those were welded. Now down here on this end, This is a heel riser. You noticed how silver this looks? That's manganese, either wire welding or stick rod. You can see here where the when as you were welding, it actually burned into this cast steel thing here. Now the way this worked, look at this wear right here. As the flanges here on the outside, the other side of the wheel actually grabbed right here, the width of the wheel grabbed right here. This was built up right here to where it was about 3/8 of an inch taller than this here, and it actually raised the wheel up. And as it raised the wheel up, it made this transition. You see from here to here is the width of a car wheel. Transitions on down here, starts grabbing right here on the spring rail. Now notice this right here was machined into this spring rail by a huge, for a better word, a huge lathe or a milling machine, not a lathe, milling machine, and that gave it clearance to grab into this rail here. Of course, as it comes on down, your wheels here, your flanges here. Now, the beginning of the process of building this frog, two blacksmiths, let me back up, a machinist. There was a gentleman named Leo Watkins. He was a machinist at the Charlotte Roadway Shop. Him and Frank Craver ran two of these huge milling machines, and they milled these. See, there's a little gap right there. This point here fits right into here. These two pieces of rail here were actually put together by two blacksmiths with rivet guns. But all that machining was done by those two men at the Roadway Shop. They called this here a filler block. That's a huge piece of metal in there, about 4 inches wide, 6 inches tall, something like that. Let's go back down here on this end. Now, of course, we're looking, if you can see that rail straight down through there, through the frog, that's your main line. And then over here, that's going to be the spring rail side. That's going to be going into a siding, into a business like Duke Energy or Celanese or whatever. Now, as that train comes back out of the siding, you've got a flange right in here. And it comes right up here, and the flange hits this rail right here, kicks that rail over approximately that far, springs this rail open, and then it runs on. The flange of the wheel comes here in the middle, comes off of this point, comes right down here and grabs the rail right here. Now you can't really see it unless I come over here, look straight down. This rail here is worn way this way. That's from flanges coming in and out of here wearing. Well, I hope I did a good job on explaining this operation of a spring frog. Have a good day.